Hello and welcome back to Steve's Media. It's been a long time since I've been able to do a video, mostly due to the fact that the last couple of videos I posted, I noticed there were a few audio issues with the microphone, which unfortunately now is lost. Hence, one of the reasons why I haven't been able to record, needing a new video, new microphone rather. So, as I said, it's been since October the last time I was able to do an update. Few personal problems, work and family life gets in the way of everything. Haven't been haven't been able to do anything. Finally picked up a new microphone just last week, so being able to get this done. And what it is, it's going to be a two-part video showing everything that I've picked up over the last month. A month ago, yesterday was actually my birthday, and I picked up a lot of cash off family, which I've put towards uh, adding a few things to my collection. So I'm going to start with the DVDs first. Got a couple of big stacks of films here. So first title I'm going to show you here is a documentary I've been interested in for a while. Finally seen it on the DVD release over here. I've actually only seen it on American sites, and that is, it's getting shot, Corman's World. It's basically a 86-minute documentary about uh, Roger Corman, who produced a lot of horror, exploitation films, sci-fi over the past 60 years. It's actually a writer, director, producer. Um, it's basically a documentary about his life, about his film career. Features interviews with the likes of Paul W.S. Anderson, William Shatner, Robert De Niro, Pam Grier, Martin Scorsese, and others. Uh, it looks really interesting. I've got a couple of Roger Corman's films actually in my collection. A couple of horror films. I think one of them was Slumber Party Massacre. So I'm looking forward to checking out this documentary and maybe pick up a few more of Corman's films that look interesting if they're shown in this documentary. And the next title I picked up is quite an old title, and you'll see by the box art for it, and that is a British, well, English institution, Match of the Day. It's Match of the Day best of the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, and it's basically reading it. It's basically three discs with three different documentaries looking at football and match of the day from these 3 decades. And you see just some of the players featured on the front and back. You've got Gary Lineker, the current host of the show. Basically, for those that don't, for any Americans that don't know, Match of the Day is basically a football or soccer to you highlight show. It is on a Saturday evening here in the UK, well, Saturday late night Saturday, which shows all the goals from the top division in English football, and every from the new year onwards, they have one weekend every couple of months to show FA Cup highlights, which is the national cup competition. So you see Gary Lineker in his Tottenham Hotspur days, the current host, England's World Cup winning captain for 1966, Sir Bobby Moore, the late great George Best in his Manchester United kit, and I believe that is Malcolm McDonald when he played for Newcastle. And you've got in the back more great names. You've got Kane Dalglish, Liverpool legend, Sir Bobby Charlton, Manchester United and England legend, Kevin Keegan, former England manager. So Jimmy Greaves, who's recently been in the news for a few health problems, and former England captain Brian Robson. As I said, basically it's a series of documentaries covering each decade with clips from matches or big moments over them decades. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out. Actually been looking at that one for a long time. And the next 4 titles are all wrestling titles. And the first one I'm going to show you, I actually just received in the post this morning as of recording this. Got this dirt cheap off eBay, hardly anyone bidding on it, and you'll see why in a minute. That is the $1 million Tough Enough competition. This was the Tough Enough from 2005, the 3rd series I believe of Tough Enough, and this is the one that was exclusive to SmackDown. Basically clips on SmackDown shown every week. It's actually a stacked disc full of matches, full of moments, activities and auditions for this series Tough Enough. It also includes a bonus disc called WrestleMania Recall, and judging by the logo and the date of it, this will be in from around WrestleMania 21 time. And you will notice a couple of familiar names for those that are wrestling fans are on the back. You've got Ryback, when he was known as Ryan Reeves, Mitch from the Spirit Squad, and right at the very bottom, former WWE champion The Miz. And this was the season that was won by this guy right here, Daniel Puter, beating Miz to the title. Puter was infamous during the season for almost making Kurt Angle tap out legit during a challenge on SmackDown, and also for getting the hell beat out of him in the 2006 Royal Rumble match by, I believe, Hardcore Holly and Chris Benoit. Might be wrong on that one, but it's a bit of a, it was a cheap deal. It was 99 pence, adds in postage. I only paid £2 odd. Not a bad deal. It's having a season of Tough Enough on DVD, something that I don't have with the original Tough Enoughs. Well, that's that. The second one is a TNA DVD. I don't keep TNA DVDs much these days, but this one was one I've been trying to track down for years. I finally found it for a really cheap price. It was only about £6, and that is the Jeff Jarrett King of the Mountain documentary set, for this set. Basically looking at Jarrett's career from his early days through NWA, WCW, WWE. I don't like the way this set is packaged though. You see the first disc is in its own keep case, but then you've got discs 2 to 4 stacked up on one spindle, and there are a couple of minor scratches on the disc which I'm not fussed about. As long as it plays, it's fine. But I might try and go for a four disc keep case. It's got a taste of some of the matches. Well, for the matches listed on it, there's a match against Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Why, I don't know. Jeff Hardy, Sting and Jeff Jarrett had a couple of cracking matches during Sting's early run with TNA, and a match with Kurt Angle. So I finally have this in my collection. This and TNA Ultimate matches are now the only two TNA DVD sets in my collection. They're sold off everything else, as in I don't really watch TNA these days much. It's back to WWE for these next two ones. This was another long time set I've wanted, and again picked this up dirt cheap off eBay, and that is Big Show, A Giant's World. Excuse me. Basically documentary on the Big Show, long overdue documentary. Covers everything from how he got into wrestling, growing up with the condition acromegaly, which is also the condition Andre the Giant suffered from. Again, excuse me. So his WCW stint where he won the WCW World Heavyweight title in his debut match from Hulk Hogan. That's actually one of the matches on this set from Halloween Havoc 95. It's also got matches against the likes of Ric Flair, Sting, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the WrestleMania 24 match against Floyd Mayweather, which was actually better than it had any right to be. So it is on the documentary is on the WWE Network right now, but with having the network now, I still want to keep the documentaries and compilation sets that they put out, and just stick to just watching pay-per-views on the network. So really looking forward to checking this one out. And the final WWE set, wrestling set, is another one I've been chasing after for a while. Been trying to get this for cheap, or as cheap as I can get it. Every time I see it come up on eBay, keep an eye on it. Always ends up being overpriced in the bidding. But I walked into a HMV store in Manchester in the Arndale Centre a couple of weeks back. Browsing around the section and I've seen this, and you just see it flash there. It is the Goldberg Ultimate Collection set. This is the DVD version. This was actually reduced down to $9.99, same price as the network, cheap plug. And this set, it's just basically a compilation of Goldberg's matches, going from the infamous streak in WCW to the match that ended the streak against Kevin Nash at Starrcade 98, post-streak run, including the ill-advised heel turn, and a couple of matches from his one-year WWE run, including the matches against The Rock, which was his debut match, and the match against Triple H where he won the World Heavyweight title. I believe Unforgiven. Could be wrong on that one. But yeah, I was a big Goldberg fan back during like late Attitude Era, early 2000s. So looking forward to going back and watching a lot of his old matches. Most of them are squash matches from the streak, obviously, but there are some good matches to look at in this compilation. Now, the next 1, 2, 3, 4 titles are all kids' films. I'll just take a quick chunk here. The first title I've got here, I actually just picked up this week, bought it on Monday as I was heading into work for a late evening shift. Wanting to get this, I've heard so-so reviews on this, but I'm a big fan of the franchise, so I knew I just had to get it whether it was good or bad, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2014 Michael Bay produced film. Got this in CX, one of my favourite stores. It was £8 on Blu-ray, but it was the Blu-ray 3D combo without the 3D. Why, I don't know. This DVD, as you can see there, was just £5. It's got a few scratches and smudges on it, easily cleaned off. But as I said, heard some good, some bad stuff about it. But it's Turtles. I'm a big fan of the Turtles, so looking forward to checking it out. The next one is something that I've been looking at for a while. I actually had it on my Amazon wishlist for a long time. There's this brilliant little DVD music shop in Manchester called FOP. It's under the HMV brand. And I walked in, having a look around. Actually, the next 2 titles are from that shop. This was, I believe, £4, maybe £5. Can't remember for sure, but as there's a feature film of this franchise coming out at the end of this year. I've always wanted to own some of these in my collection, and now I have it. This is the Peanuts 1960s collection. It features 6 TV specials on 2 discs. Firstly, the reason I wanted to pick it up because of the Peanuts, and I've only seen bits and bobs of them on TV. I may have watched some when I was younger, but I can't really remember. But this features the Halloween classic It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, which I've never seen in full, at least to my knowledge. So sorry, my voice keeps cracking a bit. Working 4 days straight, talking kills the voice. So yeah, it's got Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. It's also got a Charlie Brown Christmas, which I'll be watching in the run up to Christmas. And the other 4 specials are Charlie Brown's All Stars, You're in Love Charlie Brown, He's Your Dog Charlie Brown, and It Was a Short Summer of Charlie Brown. It also features a profile on Vince Guaraldi, who I guess was the composer of the music for these specials. For £4, 6 specials, not a bad deal. As I said, the Charlie Brown Christmas and It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown will be on my winter watch list. The other one I got in FOP is a cult film, a cult family film that, for whatever reason, I've never seen. I've heard, I've heard of, I've seen videos of it. But again, this was dead cheap. It was for, again, like the Peanuts one, £4 or £5, not a bad deal. It's the 2-disc special edition release of The Princess Bride. Is it starring Cary Elwes, who was in the first Hot Shots film, Chris Sarandon, Robin Wright in one of the first films, and Wallace Shawn, who you may recognise his voice as being that of Bertram in Family Guy. Also features a couple of guest appearances by Peter Falk, Columbo, and Billy Crystal. And also, as I'm a wrestling fan, it's one of the films Andre the Giant done. He actually plays a giant. What else in this film? This would be good for watching on a rainy day, or if I'm bored, got some time to kill. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out. And the last one for the kids films is actually something I've already pre-watched. And I've got a few different sets of these particular characters, and they are classics. I've seen this in a Tesco supermarket. £5 it was. As Tom and Jerry presents No Mice Allowed, and it's basically a lot of 30 cartoons covering classic Tom and Jerry, Tom and Jerry Tales, and the more recent Tom and Jerry Show. And it's basically adventures with Tom and the likes of Butch, who, depends on what cartoon you watch, is either a rival of Tom or an ally, and the trouble that Jerry gets them all into. Hence the title No Mice Allowed. But I'm not so into the newer cartoons, more the classic ones. There's enough classic cartoons here for it to be an enjoyable set. If you've seen the newer stuff and you just want certain episodes from that's featured on here, but it's got some of my favourite cartoons from the classic era, like Baby Puss, which is basically Tom being mothered by a little girl. The Zoot Cat, Jerry's Cousin, which is basically a tough as nails version of Jerry, who comes to town to protect the mouse from Tom. Oh, good little set. If you see it, it's worth picking up. I mean, there's enough cartoons on there. Next title is the first thing I got for this whole collection update, and it's a film that I've been wanting to own for a long time. It's one of my favorite action films, but every time I think of seeing it, it's always the fourth film in the series. But I walked into a charity shop a couple of days before my birthday and found this very cheap. It was only when I looked at the back that I realised it's not. It's a completely different release. It is Bloodsport, the classic Jean-Claude Van Damme underground sort of fight club type film. But this is actually, as you can see from the back, is a Dutch release of Bloodsport. I don't care what version it is. I've finally got this film in my collection, ready to watch anytime I want. Absolutely love watching this film whenever it comes on the TV, because some of the fight scenes, some of the matches he has, unbelievable. So, Bloodsport finally in my collection. The next film I've got, bit of a blind buy, bit of a pick up at a whim. It was really, really cheap. I think it was about, I paid around £1.50. Again, CX, awesome shop for picking up cheap films or new films cheaper than retail, because you do tend to find some new films showing up within a week of their release, knocked down. I've seen this in there. It's a Michael Bay film. Not a fan of Michael Bay as a director, particularly for what he's done to the Transformers franchise. But it's got one of my all-time favorite wrestlers and a decent actor. This guy is actually decent in one of the Transformers films. That is the Mark Wahlberg and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson starring in Pain and Gain. Looks to be an action comedy. I love action. I love comedy. I've never seen it, but could be good for a rainy day. Just chill out film. And the last 6 films are all additions to my horror collection. The first one is another film that I've been trying to track down for ages. I've seen clips of it on top 10 countdowns or articles on horror websites. Looks an odd film, but it's a cheesy, corny horror flick. I love them types of films, and that is Pin. And this is basically about 2 kids, or a brother and sister, who grew up in a conservative family obsessive compulsive mother, strict disciplinarian doctor, and basically there's a anatomically correct medical dummy the father has called Pin that that comes to life, I think. It's basically a sort of slasher film in a way. Don't really know too much about it, but I've wanted it for a while. Finally have it. Looking forward to checking out more around Halloween time. The next two picked up off. In fact, the next five, the last five, are all picked up from eBay. First one is one of those films that come along like a holiday theme in the way of Friday the 13th, Black Christmas, that sort of film. And that is April Fool's Day. It's the original April Fool's Day. Basically, it's a bunch of kids that go to a secluded island home and they get killed off one after one. My type of film, my type of horror film. Love a good slasher film, so I'm looking forward to checking this out. And the next film is a Christmassy themed horror film. It's Silent Night, Bloody Night. Not to be confused with Silent Night, Deadly Night. This is two completely different franchises. This one's basically about a guy who owns a mansion, found out it was a mental home, and he starts investigating crimes that took place at at the at that mansion, and basically goes along from there. I don't know too much about this film, but again, slasher film, got it cheap off eBay, well worth it. And the final three titles I actually got as a bundle of four for one film. The first one I'm going to show you. I did get rid of one of the films in the bundle, which was Driller Killer, as I do already own it on the Box of the Band set. But I'll save the one I was going to pick it up for last. I mentioned at the start of the video about Roger Corman and owning a couple of films. Well, this first one is one of Corman's films, and that is Not of This Earth. Complete blind buy, don't know nothing about it. I only vaguely heard of the lead actress in it, which is former porn star Tracy Lords. It's basically a remake of Corman's 1957 film. Basically about an alien, or rather space vampire. Sounds really corny, really cheesy. I wasn't sure whether I was going to keep this or not, but I thought, yeah, I'll give it a watch. If I don't like it, I can always get rid. But cheesy, corny, sci-fi, horror, vampires, I'll check it out. And the next one, another one I wasn't sure I was going to keep. But again, give it a watch, see what it's like. Complete blind buy again. That is American Gothic. Uh, it looks like it's a basic slasher setup. 16s, gone camping, found themselves on remote islands, and they come across a strange family. Only to find basically they all get killed off, apart from one who's discovered to have a dark secret of her own. Yeah, might be worth a check out. But the sole reason I got this, the whole bundle, actually, 99 pence, less than £4 with postage. But the reason I got this, I love this actor, one of the masters of horror. Loved his role as Dracula. You know who I'm going to talk about. It is White Zombie, starring the legendary Bela Lugosi. Uh, it's an independent film. It's a black and white film. Uh, it's been deemed the first ever feature-length zombie film, and I love zombie films. Probably, apart from slashers, one of my favourite genres of horror is a zombie film. I love all the Romero Dead films. So, big fan of Bela Lugosi. Looking forward to checking this out. Sounds really interesting, really spooky, full of zombies. So, that's one to definitely check out. So, that's it for the first part of this video, covering all the DVDs I've picked up over the past month. I'll be back with part 2, looking at all the Blu-rays I picked up. I've picked up a lot of Blu-rays, some really good ones as well. So tune in for that, and see you next time.